Very good, friends. I think we're running. Doc South here, and I know I've been, kidding my daughter Sunshine on Facebook about something when she was a little girl. We were, oh gosh, we were down around Cape May. She couldn't have been more than about three, something like that. And we were walking in the surf, and all of a sudden the water came up just a little bit more than it should have, and I guess got up kind of near, yeah, like over her shoes and her sandals, whatever and she was so afraid. Let's see, that there was going to be sharks in her shoes, and she was crying. Oh, she was inconsolable, and yeah, and I've kidded her about it. Again, all in good fun. It was kind of cute. We eventually convinced her, that hey, no sharks in your shoes. Don't worry about it. Sharks are big. Your shoes are tiny. Well, what about baby sharks? Now, baby sharks won't hurt you. Oh, okay. But it was cute, and I realized I got to thinking, as you get older, you forget about when you were a kid. I know I do, and I try to recollect as best I can, and I just realized, man, I was a fraidy cat too. Oh my gosh, you should see some of the. I wrote down a list. I don't know if I can get to it all today. We may have to. Well, for instance, I remember a friend of mine. I had to be maybe about 4 years old. Jackie across the street, young friend of mine, good kid. We were pals. Ride our tricycles around the block and stuff. Yeah, and get a whipping for not being within sight of our moms. But we'd be doing stuff. And I remember we're sitting one day, I don't know, maybe we're making, I don't know, we might have been making, gathering rocks to go throw them at something, I don't know. But Jackie says, hey, did you hear the latest? I said, well, again, this is in kid talk, but he said, did you hear this? There's actually, my mom told me that if you sit on the toilet too long, there's actually there's a guy down in the pipes in the sewers. His hand will reach up and he'll snatch you. And I said, what? He'll drag you right down into the sewer with him if you stay in there too long. I said, my God, I've never heard of that. Who told you this? He says, my ma. I was in the bathroom for about, maybe 15 minutes. That's all. And she hollered about the guy in the sewer will come get me. I said, oh my God. And I didn't even ask my mom about this. It just seemed it was almost too horrible to relate. But I can tell you, boy, my bathroom trips in and out. There you go, man. Oh no, you don't. Yeah, the I don't know. The things people tell their kids, and I wonder if Jackie's still. Geez, I don't know. I'm getting in and out too. Yeah, this is awful. Yeah, and now he's 70. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the arm in the toilet. Who else was? Oh my gosh, there was for the longest time I was absolutely terrified of King Kong. Yeah, yeah. They were showing when I was a kid. They were showing previews on TV for a rerun of King Kong. It was the old movie from the 30s, I guess, and early 30s. And I saw King Kong, ripping a subway car off the tracks and was shaking the people like he's eating raisinets. He's shaking the people are falling into his jaws and stuff. I mean, I was pretty scared of that guy. I think they had a scene where it was like here, like what you're seeing here is a window, and he's like this looking in on, was that Fay Ray? And then his hand reaches in to grab her, and she's, oh my God, I terrified of that darn thing. And I had it in my head. We lived in Elizabeth at that time in a small apartment building, maybe 4 stories high, 5 stories high. We were on the 3rd floor, and that's just about eye level for King Kong. I can't tell you how many nightmares I had waiting I'd shut the blinds, and I thought, geez, maybe I ought to know. I mean, he can see through the blinds. If all he has to do is move them a little with his fingernail, and he'll see I'm in there. And next thing you know, I got that hand coming into the bedroom, and so I was kind of perplexed. I think what I did was I raised the blinds, but I think I did, and I slept with but I couldn't bear to watch. Yeah, I figured I'd hear his breathing if the blinds wouldn't muffle the sound. Anyway, yeah, for many a night, horribly terrified. Come to find out later, I went to see the movie. King Kong wasn't such a bad guy. I mean, people were picking on him. You could hardly blame him, for wrecking everything. And then he winds up getting shot up there at the Empire State Building. Sheesh. Other people just go up there for a little sightseeing. He goes up there to get away from the people, and then actually, I felt kind of bad for him after seeing the movie. What was the other thing? Oh, one day there's a Superman show on TV, and I'm watching it. I don't know, and it was about some guy who was falsely accused of murder, and he just didn't have a good enough alibi, and he got found guilty, and they're going to give him the chair. And I said, I remember Mom's in the room, and I'm watching it. She said, I don't know if you should be watching this. I said, well, gee, Mom, it's almost what's the chair? She says, well, it's an electric chair. And then they're going to strap the guy in and run current through him, and he'll die because they think he murdered someone. But you wait, don't worry, Superman will save him. I said, but what do you mean an electric chair? She says, well, it's an execution device. That's what they do. I said, well, but, and of course I'm running around. The Superman's not getting there fast enough. Superman evidently got a pardon for the poor fella, presented evidence to the governor. The governor says, Superman, get down there right now. The phones are dead. The lines are cut. The lines are down. There's a storm between here and Sing Sing, and or whatever prison. And Superman goes flying through the air. They're strapping this guy in, and I'm running around the coffee table screaming. I mean, just hands up in absolute panic. They're going to fry this poor guy. And just at the last second, the executioner's about to pull down this big strap, bracket switch, I think, a bridge switch. And he's just about got it down, and Superman crashes through the wall of the execution chamber and puts his hand right between it stops the current. The current's all going through Superman, but he could care less. It tickles to him. And he says, here, I have a stay of execution from the governor. Oh, Superman, thank God you got here in time. I'm about passed out under the coffee table. I didn't know what I was going to do. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What was the other thing we were afraid of? Dragonflies. Terrified of dragonflies, us kids. Someone told us, a grown-up, so it had to be true. Someone told us that dragonflies, if they land on your ears, that long part, the back end, their posterior there, they can use that to sew your ear to your head, right? And you won't have, it's super strong thread, and you'll grow up that way, with your ear sewed to your. One day, one of our friends come running down the road. He's got a dragonfly on his head. He's just screaming. We didn't know what to do. We all ran from him. Well, what if that dragonfly had friends? We'll all be running around with our ears sewed to our skulls. Woo! Anyway, the thing flew away. I think the kid ran screaming into his house, and his mom got the dragonfly with the towel. What else? Oh, we were terrified of quick mud. Yeah, not quicksand, quick mud. Right. Very lethal. Very lethal. We used to like to play out in the swamps and stuff, but you had to watch out for those quick mud spots, because you could go in pretty darn deep. Oh, at least up to your knees, which would be about, with our little knees, about 8 or 9 inches, something like that. And, every now and then some kid would scream. We were playing hide and seek or throwing rocks at each other or something. And all of a sudden you'd hear him screaming, "I'm in quick mud! Help! Help!" And you go running. Oh my God! Look at Joe. He's up past his sneakers. And we grab, go right up to him and try to. As long as we had to be careful, we didn't get it caught in the quick mud too. We could all go down. Oh. And they'd find us years later when they went to build a development there in the field. It was, yeah. So again, quick mud. Usually you'd pull the kid out and his sneakers would be stuck in the quick mud. And then the real terror would happen when he went home without his sneakers. And Dad came home. Oh gosh, what? We were terrified of black widow spiders. Yep, black widow spiders. Oh, you had to watch out for them. Out there in the fields of New Jersey. No one bothered to tell us that black widows like dark areas that are very warm. But every spider we saw was a black widow. Yeah, absolute poisonous. You're going to die within, 40 seconds after it bites you. Turns out black widows, yeah, I guess you can die from one, but generally, yeah, they got stuff they can do to, yeah. You're in pretty good shape. You're just going to have to go to the doctor, maybe get a needle or two. But I guess there may have been I think, the best I know, I know there are some cases where people passed from black widow spiders. But the thing is, turns out they like it down in basements and dark and warm. So, you look for them in the furnace room, the boiler rooms, etc. Hot base attics, I suppose. They probably love it up there nowadays, this time of year. And, well, gosh, the electric chair, quick mud, dragonflies. I told you, dragonflies, horrible. Maniacs. We were very afraid of maniacs. Yeah. If a guy came, a grown-up boy, we were playing baseball or something, and some guy just come along to watch us play ball, not meaning us any harm at all. Now that I think back, oh, my God, it's a maniac! A maniac! Oh, and we'd all run. Yeah, the game would be over. Game called on account of maniac. I remember there was an old guy in when I lived in the apartment. I guess the guy must have had an apartment somewhere in the same building. And one day he was a very old fella, but he always looked kind of creepy. And he's putting his garbage out, and he's talking to an old lady, probably a friend of his. He's talking to her, and she says, "Oh, Mr. Levi, how are you today?" He says, "Oh, good, good." He says, and he sees me, and he says to the lady, he says, "Oh, yeah." He says, "So what are you doing?" He says, "Oh, I'm just finding some garbage. I like feeding it to little kids." And he looks over at me, and I go, "Oh my God, a maniac!" And I'm by myself. I go running down the alleyway to the apartment, and there was a hole in the fence. I got through the fence, around the other side of the building, go running into the house. Oh, into the apartment. Mom say, "What's the matter?" "Maniac, maniac." And she says, "Oh, good Lord, that's old Mr. Levi. Don't worry about him." "Jeez," she says, "he's going to feed garbage to us kids." "Well," she says, "I doubt it." She says, "Yeah, he'd go to jail for that." "Yeah, he would?" "Yeah, of course." "Ah, no, he's not going to hurt you. Just go out and play. Come on." I said, "Well, okay." And so it was a day or two later. I'm riding up near where the movie theater was in town of Elizabeth, city of Elizabeth. And I'm riding down again, it's one of the busy thoroughfares. And I'm not riding on the road. I'm riding on the sidewalk. Yeah, all the people around, I'm getting around them and all that. Okay. And I don't know, I go past the movie theater and I see they're going to have some movie. I go, "Oh, that looks like it'll be good." And I'm looking at the movie marquee, and all of a sudden I hit a guy. And I ride right over him. I knocked him down, rode right over his back, along his shoulder, and I think my pedal may have hit him in the ear. And I stop a little, about 5 feet away, managed to get the brakes, and the guy's getting up, and it's the maniac, Mr. Levi. Oh my God, he's shaking, he's trying to get up, he's getting up okay. People are helping him, and he's shaking his fist at me. "I'll get you, I'll get you." I'd stayed away from his garbage can the rest of my life. Never went near it. No, sir. Oh my God. Oh, Mister. Of all the people to run over on the sidewalk, him. I. And then, well, oh gosh, there was the other thing. Remember, I think what was one of the guys that was in. I can't. Michael Landon. Michael Landon as a teenager, I think, was in he may have been a young adult. He was in a werewolf movie. I think I was a teenage werewolf, right? Wasn't that him? I could be wrong. Forgive me if I am, but whatever it was a werewolf movie. I didn't see it in the movies. Probably should have gone to see it in the movies because I don't think it was that awful scary. But I saw it in the trailers on TV, and for the longest time as a kid, I was terrified of werewolves. My God, what you're hanging out with your friends, and all of a sudden, maybe you got a campfire out in the backyard. All of a sudden, here comes some guys, and all of a sudden they turn into werewolves and start chasing you all around the neighborhood and stuff. Oh, heaven help you if they get you, they rip you apart. Well, and of course they always have sneaky places to be, in the dark shadows and all that. Oh, and I remember my granddad used to like to keep ice cream in a in a separate freezer down in the basement, and he'd have maybe two or three 5-gallon containers of ice cream. Yeah, good ice cream, and but it'd always be when it was after supper to be getting dark, we're ready for dessert. He says, "Hey, go down and get bring up that 5-gallon tub of ice cream, will you?" I said, "Well, yeah." And I go, I'm going down the steps, and all of a sudden I realize, hey, there's only like one light bulb in this basement, and I got to get all the way to that one side room where the freezer is. Oh my God! And there could be werewolves down here. They'll never know. He'll pounce on me. I'll be gone before they even come. He'll be chomping on my bones before I can. Oh, and yet I got to make it to the ice cream. I got a mission. I got to get in there. And oh my God, the Granddad be hollering, "Hey, hurry up down there! Get that ice cream! Come on, we want dessert." Yeah, what? Can't you find it? Go on, get down there. And then he's flicking the lights on and off to get me to hurry up. Oh my God, and I think I just kept figuring one day I'd get there to the freezer. I'd lift the freezer and there'd be a werewolf in the freezer waiting for me. Come on in here, pal. I'm cold. Yeah, and hungry. Again, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Man, it made sense to me that I was going to get eaten alive by a werewolf, and then he'd have some ice cream. So I don't know. So anyway, Sonny's fears about sharks in her shoes, nothing. Not the biggest fear ever. And I now I know where she got it from. Now that I think about it, moi, old chicken heart here, tell you. Well. Anyway, there you go, friends. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you later. Be brave. We'll see. And and don't tell your kids scary stories, for crying out loud. What are you doing? Okay, I'll see you later, friends. Bye bye.